Walking connects us to the glorious world around us, which we so often lose touch with in our busy everyday lives. It's good for our health and lifts the spirits like nothing else.
That is the most incredible view I've ever seen.
More and more people are feeling the benefits of this simplest form of relaxation.
Walking is about getting fit in body, mind and soul.
Being in nature gives me such a sense of the sacred.
And in this series, we're going to be joining them.
I'm Marine Baig.
And I'm JB Gill.
Come join us as we celebrate the joy, wisdom and beauty to be found not only in Britain's incredible religious spaces.
There's something really special when you enter a place like this.
But in its people as well.
You're really casting everything else away, all the problems of the day.
It's so important for our well-being.
If you're mindful and spend time in the present moment, then you'll have a much richer life.
We'll be discovering Britain's hidden cultural and historical treasures.
Imagine what this would have been like in its former glory. Unreal.
And unearthing an array of special places that can bring peace and spiritual fulfilment.
Dartmoor is my temple. Dartmoor is my cathedral.
No matter where you live, there's some trail or route you can walk. So put on your walking boots, put your best foot forward,
as we embark on some walks of life.
Today, I'll be exploring the spectacular Lake District, home to England's highest peaks and its deepest bodies of water. It's recently been declared a World Heritage Site in recognition of its culture as well as its landscape. And my journey is inspired by the lake's most famous son, William Wordsworth.
Wordsworth called this place a national property for everyone who has an eye to perceive and a heart to enjoy. And I'm with him on that one. This place really is something special.
I'll be crossing mudflats to a holy island only accessible at low tide, in search of an ancient site of sanctuary for weary travellers seeking protection from the waves.
Somewhere in the base of this is the 12th century tiny chapel which the monks built.
As I walk the Cumbria Way towards Coniston Water, I'll meet people who have found inspiration and harmony in this landscape of tarns, fells and becks.
Being around nature and being around animals is definitely the best place for wellness, I think.
In a hidden forest retreat, I'll be finding out if yoga and meditation can help a city girl like me get spiritually and physically closer to nature.
That was really different to anything I've ever done, but I loved it.
And I'll end my adventure in the village of Grasmere, Wordsworth's final resting place, where I'll discover how his writing still captures the essence of everything I see around me.
The spiritual uplift that the landscape gives to people is very much part of what Wordsworth was articulating, 200 years ago.
My Lake District walk will begin in the market town of Ulverston, but I'm starting on the other side of Morecambe Bay in Sandgate, an important area for sheep farming and shellfishing. I'll be taking the most direct route across the bay, walking over the mudflats. It's only possible at low tide, and it's the only way to reach a special religious site that lies right in the middle of the estuary, so it's not a place for a casual visit. Now, I've lived most of my life in London and have never been to the lakes before, and thus far, the conditions aren't exactly enticing.
I've heard lots of stories about how beautiful Lake District is, but because of the weather, I can't really tell you right now. I'm hoping it'll clear up.
My walk today is on the land that inspired the incredible art of William Wordsworth, one of the UK's greatest poets, who wrote about this very stretch of sand and a tiny island that is somewhere in the distance. Wordsworth was born in nearby Cockermouth in 1770 and lived in the Lake District for most of his 80 years. I used to be an English teacher, and whilst I've always known that his love for this area was a major inspiration, I've never had a chance to experience it for myself. In perhaps his greatest work, The Prelude, he explores how his feelings for this landscape grew throughout his life, and he describes the journey across the bay I'm about to take. As I advanced, all that I saw or felt was gentleness and peace. Upon a small and rocky island near, a fragment stood, the low remains of a dilapidated structure, once a Romish chapel where the vested priests said matins at the hour that suited those who crossed the sands with ebb of morning tide. I can imagine people reading the description and wanting to make the same journey and see the same sands and the same views. He makes it sound so beautiful. I can't wait to see it for myself, so to help me find the way safely, local historian Jennifer is joining me. Her family have fished these waters for years. Take the wrong path and you could quickly be overwhelmed by the incoming tide, so it's recommended you only attempt the crossing with a guide. Hiya, Jennifer.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
How do you do?
Good, thank you. Are you ready to take me on a little walk?
Yes, we're going to walk across to the island in the distance over there.
Is it okay in this weather?
Yes, we just have to be careful where we're going in the softer places, but there shouldn't be a problem. Maureen, I'd advise you to take your shoes and socks off because it's rather wet and some of the water's deep.
Are you sure about this, Jennifer?
Yes, I'm afraid so.
Jennifer may be familiar with treacherous tides and shifting sands, but nothing had prepared her for the sight of my nail varnish.
It may not be that colour when you get to the other side.
I'm ready.
Okay. Right, let's go.
I don't think my feet were designed for this. It's freezing. The great outdoors is definitely not my natural habitat. Are we walking down there?
Yes.
Okay. I don't have to deal with this in Finchley.
Now, it shouldn't be too soggy, so we'll just walk across here. It's not easy, is it?
It's all right. Oh, that's nice. Oh, soft. Okay, got it. Chapel Island is just 360 metres long and 50 metres wide, and for travellers who want to avoid the long walk round the headland, it is perfectly positioned to provide a refuge from the rising tide. So we're walking in the footsteps of William Wordsworth.
Absolutely. Wordsworth did it because he liked to come and see various places which were out of his usual routine in the Lake District. And he wrote many lines about this crossing to Chapel Island. He was so taken with the scene of the people walking barefoot on the sands towards Ulverston, perhaps to go to the weekly market there at Ulverston to sell their wares. Oh. It was the main road for people when the tide was out, but the main road for shipping when the tide was in.
So did people get stranded?
Yes, and drowned. Many of them. Yes. The only place to go would be Chapel Island.
That's why it was of such great significance?
Yes. I would think that many people, thousands possibly, over the course of the centuries, owe their lives to Chapel Island.
Oh, I can see it. That's the island. I couldn't see it earlier.
That's Chapel Island, yes, sticking out very nicely for us. Not much, but a lifesaver.
I think we'd better keep moving then.
Yes, let's go.
Although it's less than 2 miles, the terrain of soft mud and marshland makes it feel a lot further.
Well, it's been a long walk, hasn't it?
In the 12th century, Augustine monks from a nearby priory constructed a small chapel here for travellers to say prayers of thanks for their safe passage across the bay. You okay?
Yeah.
But the years haven't been kind to this once holy spot.
What is this? In the 1820s, The gentleman who owned the bigger house at the new Coniston Priory, he decided he would like a folly or sham castle. And of course that fell down, but this is the remains of the sham chapel, though somewhere in the base of this is the 12th century tiny chapel which the monks built.
It's incredible to think that a few years ago, this place saved so many people, and we're standing here now, and there's not much left of it, but it's still incredible to think what it meant, what it must have meant to them.
I think probably with it being called Chapel Island as well, it would inspire people to think in religious terms, wouldn't it? Especially if they've just been saved from the sea. Right, I think we better move because the tide is starting to come in any time now. We don't want to spend the night here on the island, do we?
No, I love it here.
Let's go.
But I don't think that's a good idea.
Let's go.
These days, the shores are protected by the Ulverston Inland Rescue. Its 15 volunteers are on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, to respond to anyone who gets stranded out here. And though it's not normally a service they offer, they've agreed to give me a lift to the other side. Now this is more like what I'm used to. Now I can see the tides come in and it looks so different to how it looked when I was here earlier. And I can see how this has a potential to be very dangerous. But when I was on the other side of the shore, walking barefoot in the sand, it felt so invigorating. There was something about feeling your skin on the sand that gives you this sense of freedom and makes you really feel connected with nature. I can imagine that being a perfect place to just pray and reflect and just feel a connection with something. Now that I'm back on dry land, my journey into the Lake District itself can begin. I've devised a route that follows the first section of the Cumbria Way, a 74-mile trail that bisects the heart of the region and runs on into Carlisle. My guidebooks tell me this region covers 912 square miles of forests, mountains, and of course lakes. There are 16 of them, including Windermere, England's largest. It's the most visited national park in the UK, attracting 15.8 million tourists every year. There we go, it's the start of the Cumbria Way. The idea of somehow preserving the lakes for the nation was something William Wordsworth campaigned for throughout his life. I've arranged to walk a while with Melissa, the assistant curator of the Wordsworth Museum in Grasmere. But what was it about this land and landscape that Wordsworth loved so much that it inspired his art?
I think obviously the beauty of the landscape was a great source of inspiration for Wordsworth, but also he had such close ties to the landscape here throughout his life. So he was born here in the Lake District, he lived actually most of his life here in the Lake District, and I think he always found something within it, whether that was the people or the place or certain parts of the landscape, the mountains, the lakes, the rivers. There was always something that he found to inspire him.
But he did move away to university, didn't he?
He went travelling as well in Europe, so he did see a bit of the world, but he always had a dream of coming back here to the Lake District to live, and he did that in 1799.
Well, I'm not surprised. Even if you look at the view from here, as far out as you can see, it does look completely unspoiled. And the more you look, the more you start noticing the different patterns, the different colours, and the way the land just blends into the sky.
It is beautiful.
Do you think it was because of Wordsworth and his work that people started coming to Lake Districts for holidays and for tourism?
Towards the end of his life, he became very, very famous. He was Poet Laureate for Queen Victoria, and people would come to the Lake District specifically looking for the places that he referenced in his poetry. Also in guidebooks of the time, they would start referencing itineraries for tourists that would include Wordsworthian locations and places and quotes from his poetry. So I think, yes, he definitely did.
I can't help but think what he would have thought of that. This man who was so obsessed and inspired by nature, what did he think of this beautiful untouched place becoming filled with tourists?
He didn't want the area to be spoiled, of course. He wanted it to be preserved for the beauty that it is, but also he recognised that everyone had something to gain from being here. And in 1810, he referenced the Lake District as being a sort of national property, which kind of harks to the future and the establishment of the National Trust.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he did. I think it's that balance between wanting people to come and experience the beauty and the joy that he found here, but also wanting it to stay the same and not changing because of the many, many people that came around the 1850s.
Did he have any sort of religious beliefs?
He was never kind of overtly religious in any of his poetry, but then there's a lot of discussion about spirituality and where Wordsworth's beliefs lay. He, in his life, was guided by nature a lot, so he would take the time to really notice and appreciate the kind of movements of nature throughout the seasons, throughout the year, even throughout the day, which here in the Lake District, you know, the weather is so changeable and the scenery can change in a second.
Yeah.
And I think for him, he did find guidance in that, but he also found a sense of almost well-being, you know, just taking the time to notice and reflect upon the world and how, you know, small one person is in this much wider landscape.
And to think how long ago he put such great emphasis on that, and now everyone seems to be searching for a sense of well-being, a sense of spirituality, and books on mindfulness and well-being are the best sellers because everyone so many years later are still trying to search for the same thing.
And I think Wordsworth can help a lot of people find that because of his own beliefs and his attitude to nature, and the idea that the smallest flower or the smallest leaf can inspire something, and if we take the time to sit and notice, then we ourselves can also find that sense of peace that I think Wordsworth did.
After enjoying Melissa's company, I'm continuing alone along the Cumbria Way up towards Kirkby Moor, which is over 300 metres high and where, I'm pleased to say, the mist is lifting. Look at that view. This view is breathtaking. Compared to this morning when I started my walk, it's like the landscape is slowly revealing itself. It looks magical. But there's been one very obvious addition to the scenery since Wordsworth lived here. This is one of the oldest wind farms in the country, celebrating its 25th birthday this year. All around there's heather starting to flower, mixed in with these wind turbines, and the views across the national park. It really is a mix of old and new. This group of 12 wind turbines was erected to cash in on the wealth of wind coming in from the Atlantic, but it's long been a source of controversy, with some residents declaring them a blight on the landscape. Personally, I like them. They seem elegant, and it feels very logical to me to try and harness the natural power of the wind. I wonder what the great poet would have had to say about them. I've been walking up the hills and through the countryside, and it hasn't been easy. This walk it's rugged and it's tough and it's remote, but it's so quiet and peaceful. And at one point, over there, I was walking through that mist. I was walking through the clouds, and suddenly I've come here and there's a gap in all of that, and I can see the view again. I can see the wind turbines, and even though it's so difficult, it's so rewarding. As I look over the heather, I'm reminded of a poem by Wordsworth I used to teach. How sweet on this autumnal day the wildwood fruits to gather, and on my true love's forehead plant a crest of blooming heather. Amidst the swirling wind and ever-changing weather, I eventually reached the highest point of Kirkby Moor, and the pile of stones, or cairn, that marks it out. Cairns can be landmarks, spiritual symbols to show in burial mounts, or be used for astronomy, pointing to the sun to help with solstice celebrations or rituals. I've now been walking for 2 hours and I've covered 5.5 miles. As I drop down from the heights of Kirkby Moor, I can feel the temperatures steadily rise, and it's definitely looking up by the time I reach the valley of the River Craig, where I've arranged a pit stop. I can definitely feel a spiritual connection with this landscape growing inside me, but as a Londoner born and bred, I can't really imagine ever living somewhere like this. Could I survive? Could I make a go of it? Well, I'm on my way to meet a girl like me who has done just that. Maria once lived the city life as an artist, but she packed her bags and came north to work on this traditional lakeland farm.
Maria.
Nice to meet you.
Lovely to meet you.
Those nails aren't farmer nails.
Well, I'm getting used to the farmer life. You've lived in Edinburgh, London, and now I find you in the middle of these fields in the Lake District.
I know, I know.
How did you end up living here?
So I moved to the Lake District about 8 years ago and worked with various artists and decided that actually working with animals was more fun.
Am I allowed to have a look inside?
Yeah, well, we need to milk honeysuckle, so you can come in and maybe give a hand if you'd like.
Yeah,
you ever milked a cow before?
Milked a cow before.
Let's take her in. She's a sweetheart, so she'll be no bother.
I'm not so sure.
Come on, good girl. Come on. Come on. Come on, honey.
Honeysuckle's not listening.
Let's go. She'll finish the food and then she'll come. Good girl.
Maria moved here to live with her partner John 5 years ago. His family have farmed this land for the small matter of 6 centuries.
Hi, John.
Hiya, how are you doing?
So we're going to milk honeysuckle.
You'll have to warm your hams up first.
Okay. All right, I'm ready.
So if you just lift it up and sort of bend it there so it traps the...
Milking a cow is totally out of my comfort zone. But if Maria can do it, I should at least have a go.
Oh, God.
There we go. Right. So you can see the milk going down the pipe.
Oh, wow. Oh.
I'm not entirely sure I'm a natural at this. I can't help but wonder what all this was like for Maria when she first arrived.
When I joined John on the farm, I was just like an extra sheepdog for him. So I would just open the gates and sort of help round up the sheep, and he'd shout at me and tell me where to stand. But actually I just loved it so much working on the farm.
Put that arm round there.
If I'm honest, I'm not really feeling the love, but at least some milk has ended up in the bucket.
There you go. Nice fresh milk.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of milk.
We take off what we need and the rest the calves drink. So we've got the milk, and I'll take you over to my side of the farm.
Okay. Oh, you've got separate sides.
Yeah, the clean side.
I'm so intrigued how someone with such a similar background to me can feel so comfortable in a place like this.
Does this feel like home now to you?
Yeah, actually it really does. Out of all the places I've lived, weirdly, it's here that I feel most at home.
What is it that this place offers you that perhaps the city didn't?
Probably that you become a part of a community, which in a city, it always feels transient, like it doesn't really matter if you're there or not. And being around nature and being around animals is definitely the best place for wellness, I think.
And Maria has found a way to keep her creative instincts alive.
This is my bit of the farm.
Okay.
It used to be where they milked the cows, actually,
Right.
but now this is just where I make the soap.
You make
Honeysuckle.
soap out of honeysuckle's milk?
Yes.
Amazingly, soap can be made from any liquid, and Maria's Jersey milk is just perfect as it's highly moisturising.
Oh, wow. That is not what I was expecting. That's the prettiest soap I've ever seen.
Yeah, so all of the fragrances relate to our work on the farm and the seasons. I just love trying out different colours, trying out different fragrance combinations, thinking about names of the soap.
Oh, they have names?
Yeah,
What are they called?
that's tea in the bluebells.
Oh, right.
So it's made with Earl Grey tea and obviously honeysuckle's milk and bluebell fragrance.
That is brilliant.
So what made you think, I want to use honeysuckle's milk and start making soap?
Well, it was more because I wanted a Jersey cow and I didn't realise quite how much milk they produced. I didn't want to waste it. And I thought about making cheese, but I'm not a big cheese connoisseur. And I thought, well, why don't I try soap? So I tried it and it was amazing. And John really persuaded me to take it a bit further and turn it into business.
So I guess this was a big part of you owning your place in the farm.
Yeah, I guess it's about celebrating what we have on the farm and making the most of it.
Maria has made a real personal and professional success of moving to the lakes, but I'm wondering about her spiritual journey. I want to know how her new surroundings have influenced her faith.
I was brought up as a Christian and went to church in Scotland. My dad is from Pakistan.
Oh, so am I.
Oh, right, from Pakistan?
I'm from Pakistan, yeah.
Oh, wow. Were you born in the UK, though?
Yes, I was.
Yes.
And my family's Muslim.
Pakistan's just considered a Muslim state, but actually there's thousands of Christians living there still.
Would you say that your faith still holds an important part in your life?
Not on the surface of my life, but probably deeper. What I learned through growing up and going to church is quite ingrained, even though I might not say that I'm a practicing Christian. But for you, would you say you're a practicing Muslim?
I get asked this a lot, and I think, I don't know, I feel like I never know how to answer. I just think faith is such a personal thing. Like,
yeah, it should
it's
be
such a personal thing.
If you think you're Muslim, you're Muslim.
I think I'm practicing,
yeah.
But how other people would view it, I don't know.
Yeah, it shouldn't really matter though, should it?
I think it's so interesting how you said your faith, you don't follow your faith on the surface, where actually in your day-to-day life it feels like those core values and morals that all religions teach are so naturally embedded, looking after everything that God has created around you, looking after the plants and the animals, giving yourself to give something back.
Yeah, it's true, and all religions do teach those very basic fundamental things of being kind.
Kindness.
Yeah, kindness. That's what it comes down to. Yeah, and sharing. So you've seen a little bit of my life. Do you think you could give up London now?
Do you know, I think what you are doing is so great. And even though I would like those moments to get away from the busy life and sort of hectic city living, I don't know if I could do this. I don't know, you've given up everything and devoted yourself to the animals and to nature. I don't know if it's for me.
I don't feel I've given up anything. I feel I've only gained.
I loved chatting to Maria. I have nothing but utter admiration for the confidence and certainty she has about the choices she's made. I can't help but think back to Wordsworth and the fact that he was inspired by his surroundings and he used the landscape that he saw around him to produce his art. And that's very similar to what Maria's doing. She's using the land around her to create her soaps, to get all these opportunities that she didn't feel she had elsewhere. Maria plied me with biscuits and tea, so I'm feeling energised and refreshed as I set off on the next section of my walk. I'm continuing north to the 5th largest of the lakes, Coniston Water, which is 5 miles long and half a mile wide. As I arrive, the weather starts to change yet again, and the effect is mesmerising.
That is stunning. You can see the mist on top of the lake. Far, far away, you can see trees and hills, and the sky and the water literally blends into one. Everything's silver. It looks totally surreal.
The Cumbria Way continues along the shoreline of Coniston Water, but I'm going to take a shortcut. By taking a cruise, I'll save 5 miles of walking and get a chance to take in the stunning lakeland scenery as I go.
And that is my boat. Robert, hello.
Hello.
This is so exciting.
Hello there.
Lovely to meet you.
And I'm getting my own private tour from local guide Robert.
This whole place is so beautiful.
It is.
And you get to see it every day?
It's not a bad office to come to, really. It's, yeah.
As we set off, Robert tells me how Coniston became world famous in 1939, when Sir Malcolm Campbell broke the water speed record in his boat Bluebird.
Oh, here we go.
Tragically, in 1967, his son Donald died here, attempting to do the same. His version of Bluebird somersaulted and sank shortly after reaching a speed of nearly 330 miles per hour. In happier times, these waters inspired works by some of my favourite childhood writers, like Beatrix Potter and Arthur Ransome, who based his novel Swallows and Amazons on his experiences here.
In Swallows and Amazons, the lake is described as the Great Lake in the north.
Arthur Ransome chose the locations and then he mixed them all up rather like ingredients of a cake mix for his lake in the north. But I think the character of the stories is most definitely here on Coniston. We're just about coming up to Peel Island, which is actually Wildcat Island. Wildcat Island in the books, yeah. We're actually looking straight into the secret harbour.
Oh.
And it really is a secret today, there's nobody there.
You get to see these views nearly every day. Do you feel like since you started this job there's been a difference in yourself?
I'm not sure that I've changed an awful lot. What I love doing and what my job is really is to inspire the visitors who are maybe seeing it for the first time. And in my case, knowing and loving the Arthur Ransome stories, hoping that these visitors will maybe read the book. So we're just about to pass Brantwood House, and that was the home to John Ruskin for the last 28 years of his life until his death in 1900. He was one of these multi-talented Victorians, writer, painter, poet, social reformer, art critic, philosopher.
Like Wordsworth, Ruskin had a great love of the lakes, and his life's work emphasised the connections between nature, art and society.
The towers and turrets on the front of the house were added by Ruskin, and the right-hand one at the very front has a light burning in it. And that is built onto Ruskin's bedroom, and he would sit in there having a cup of tea, looking out over the lake while he wrote. And the light is to commemorate the light that he had in order to signal to his lady friends over in the village, come and have a cup of tea.
Oh.
Ruskin was greatly celebrated during his lifetime, but since then, his fame has dimmed compared to Wordsworth's. I'm so excited to be here because I've been reading descriptions of this place my whole professional life.
I feel like I'm acting out the scene from the extract of the Prelude that we teach at GCSE.
I dipped my oars into the silent lake, and as I rose upon the stroke, my boat went heaving through the water like a swan. When, from that craggy steep till then, the horizons bound a huge peak, black and huge, as if with voluntary power instinct, upreared its head.
It makes you understand it so much more when you're actually surrounded by the landscape. Thank you so much.
End of the voyage.
Robert, I loved it. That was magical.
Thank you for coming. You're very welcome.
Oh, bye lake.
If you're feeling adventurous, you don't have to take organised cruises. Boats of all kinds can be hired here, whether you fancy sailing, rowing or rafting.
Wordsworth called this place a national property for everyone who has an eye to perceive and a heart to enjoy. And I'm with him on that one. This place really is something special, even in this weather.
It's time to head north to join the woodland trails that will eventually lead me to Wordsworth's final resting place in Grasmere. But as I put the lake behind me, the weather is getting worse.
It's really raining now.
Thank God for my waterproofs. At least I'm feeling toasty and warm. And I have to say, feeling the rain on my face is quite invigorating. And I never thought I'd be thinking that. Within 20 minutes, the skies have started to clear and I'm genuinely feeling much more connected to my surroundings than I was at the start of my walk. And that's absolutely the right mindset to have for my next stop, one of a handful of meditative retreats you'll find in these parts. It sounds like the perfect place to rest up for the night.
This is the yoga and meditation retreat. I'm a little bit exhausted, so I can definitely do with some relaxation.
The retreat is run by Susie, who moved here from London 8 years ago. Just like Wordsworth, she's formed a special bond with the Lake District and considers it to be the perfect place for her to teach spiritual well-being.
Hey, you're here.
Susie.
Welcome, yes.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
Yes.
pleasure. Welcome, welcome.
What a beautiful spot to have a yoga and meditation retreat.
Yeah,
How did you
fantastic.
get into it?
Quite a few years ago, I had the vision of a place for people to come and connect to nature and relax. And yoga and whole foods and meditation are a perfect way to bring a better well-being to body, mind and spirit.
So we're going to be doing some yoga today, aren't we?
We're going to do it in the woodlands.
I can't wait.
Follow me.
Yes.
Susie teaches Hatha, one of the main forms of yoga. It concentrates on exercises that are designed to align and calm your body, mind and spirit in preparation for meditation.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's good.
Yes, it's lovely.
We're going to cross the bridge and go up into the woodlands.
It's like a secret forest.
Yeah, it's the enchanted woodland. Come on up.
That's a steep hill.
It's worth it though when you're up here.
Yes,
beautiful.
it's lovely. Shall I stand with everyone?
Yeah, we can do a circle. If anyone wants to go barefoot, then it's really nice because you can connect to the elements.
Uh-oh, I've been here before.
Okay, so let's begin by closing the eyes and tuning into the body and feeling your feet connected to the earth, and feel like from your feet there's roots growing all the way down, grounding and earthing you.
Yoga is a combination of physical, mental and spiritual disciplines that originated in ancient India. It's linked with Hinduism, Buddhism and Jainism.
Even to the rain, stretching up.
At first, I feel a little bit out of place, but as I follow Susie's lead, I get more and more into it.
Underneath the ground where they support each other.
Soon, I find myself really starting to appreciate the connections she's making with the woodland around us.
Allowing awareness of your roots and your energy lifting you up. And back into mountain pose. And bringing your hands to prayer position at the heart center. And gently opening your eyes. And as you do that, we say namaste. Thank you. Namaste. Namaste.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed that. That
you.
was really different to anything I've ever done, but
Yeah,
I
lovely.
loved it.
Great, super.
I thought that was incredible. I was a bit apprehensive at first, but we climbed on top of the hill and suddenly all you could see around you was just this beautiful landscape and you could hear all the sounds of the birds and the water and the wind, and you could feel the raindrops falling onto you really gently, and you could just smell the freshest air while we all did these moves in unison. I've tried yoga classes before, but that was definitely a really unique experience, not like any yoga class I've done previously. It's like all my senses were awakened at once. It felt really special.
But was everyone else feeling the same emotions as I was? Afterwards, I caught up with Melanie, a local resident who's been coming to the centre regularly for the last few months.
We just completed that yoga session and I just thought it was incredible. I thought I've never done anything like it before. What made you get into yoga?
I went through a lot of changes last year, big life changes, and it's helped me to find peace and positivity, connection and community. Yeah, I just don't know actually how I would have survived the year without it.
And when you say connection, what do you feel like you've connected with?
The connection is to my heart, because we live in our head so much of the time, and that's where all our fears and worries and anxieties are. And what yoga does is that it brings you back to your heart and to your core, and that's where you find peace.
What is it about being outdoors that has that impact on us, do you think?
You can just go for a walk down the river and a heron will fly over, and you see deer jumping a fence, and it reminds you that nature is all around you and life is all around you, and you are just a part of that. And when I connect to what's spiritual in the landscape, that inspires my creativity, and my creativity inspires my beliefs and my spirituality, which is about being true to your heart.
It's a really inspirational way to finish a glorious day. Time for a bite to eat and some well-earned sleep before the final part of my Lake District adventure tomorrow. Next morning, I'm up with the birds and raring to go. I walk the 6-mile path through Barngate and Skelwith Bridge, and after 2 hours, my destination comes into view. I'm told it's one of the most picturesque villages in the whole country.
I'm going to Grasmere, where Wordsworth spent most of his life, and in fact, he wrote his most famous poem of all, Daffodils, here.
After spending most of his 20s travelling, Wordsworth returned to his beloved Lake District at the age of 29 and spent the rest of his life here. This is Dove Cottage, the home he shared with his wife and his beloved sister Dorothy, and where he composed most of his work. Wordsworth brought a lot of tourism to Grasmere, and the town is still thriving today. There's one business, tucked away next to the local church, that particularly appeals to my sweet tooth.
This is it, it's the gingerbread shop. It looks really cute.
And it's like stepping back in time.
Hi, are you Joanne?
I am.
From Marine, it's lovely to meet you.
Too.
This is such a beautiful, cute little place.
Thank you.
I wasn't quite sure what to expect in here, but it's lovely. You run this gingerbread shop, which is quite the tourist spot now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a real mecca of people coming here from all over the world, and we've been going 164 years.
My goodness, 164. And it's got quite a history with the land.
It does. I mean, originally the building itself was built in 1630 as a school, and it's where Wordsworth used to come and occasionally teach.
What's the connection with the church and the cottage?
Well, after the village school finished, the church decided to rent it out to a poor and needy family, and it was Sarah and her husband Wilfred and their children that were poor and needy, and it became her home, and this is where she ran her business from. And actually today we still rent the cottage from the church, from the Diocese of Carlisle.
So the church was a real significant part of how this whole thing started?
Very much so, because obviously if the church hadn't given it to Sarah, then no, she wouldn't have been here. and she would actually bake cakes and she would sell them outside the shop on a tabletop, on the top of a tree stump. And she'd sell gingerbread and Helvellyn cakes, which is named after the mountain, Helvellyn. And she would talk to the first tourists, who were the Victorians that came to see Wordsworth's grave, which is next door in the beautiful church.
Why do you think the gingerbread still brings in, all these years later, so many tourists?
Well, it's become obviously world renowned, but there's lots of interesting things about the business. One is that it's a secret recipe.
What is the secret recipe?
Well, I don't know, because it's a secret. Even I don't know it, even though I'm third generation of my family to be in the business. People love the whole experience, and it's very quintessentially English, so for the foreign visitors, they just love it.
So they, I guess, want to still be part of the history and the story.
They want to experience the whole thing. When you walk in here, as you have done, it's very, very different. It's like a step back in time, and obviously you can smell the gingerbread on
and
the air.
with your outfits and everything, yeah.
We do get quite a lot of photographs taken.
I know it's a secret, but am I allowed to try some gingerbread? And maybe I can figure out the recipe.
Of course you can. So now what you expect is cross between like a biscuit and a cake, crispy and chewy, and very Irish.
Oh, that is really good. I can't figure out the recipe, but it tastes nice, yeah.
Joanne then offers me a further treat. She says I'm allowed to take a look in the kitchens, even though they're not usually open to the public.
Never wrapped gingerbread before?
Well, it's perfect.
Must be really fun dressing up every morning.
Nothing the girls don't like it.
I must admit this is not my best look, but my mother would be very proud.
Coming into the kitchen, it's very, very small in here. It's going to be very, very hot in the summer and very cold in the winter. That's the secret mixing room, so we can't go in there.
We're not allowed in there, got it.
And then we've got the gingerbread here ready to go into the oven. And once it's baked, it comes out, it gets cut, and then it goes onto these racks here to be cooled.
Right.
And once it's cooled, we take it off the trays, ready to go straight into the shop to be wrapped. And that's exactly what I'm going to show you today.
Okay.
You maybe need to watch me first because it's quite hard to do.
Her hands are like a blur.
And that's how we wrap it.
Right, you're going to have to go a little bit slower than that.
This is 6 pieces here. You take the 2 ends together.
Got it.
And then you fold it down. And as you fold it down, you put a crease in it.
Is that right?
Yeah. Down. So imagine it was a present.
Okay, wait, I can do this. So, it's there.
Yeah.
And then I fold it in the middle and put a crease in it.
Fold it inwards like this, and as you're folding it in, you put a crease in it like that.
Got it.
Okay, I'll help you.
I'm almost as bad at wrapping gingerbread as I was at milking.
It's not bad.
I've seen better. And let's have a look at the back to see how neat it is. You know, I don't think you're going to get a job here.
Oh, no. No, I promise I'll work really hard. It's just my first time.
You can be the chief taster, though.
Yes.
Next door is the Church of St Oswald's. Apparently, there's been a church on this site since the 7th century. The present building dates from 700 years after that. It's Grade 1 listed, and it's not hard to see why. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Hiya, Jill.
Oh, hi.
Marine. It's nice to meet you. So this is the church where William Wordsworth is buried.
Yes, his memorial's just up here on the left. He was buried here in the churchyard, and the National Memorial is here rather than in Westminster Abbey at Pert's Corner.
Do you get a lot of people who visit this church to find out more about Wordsworth?
We get a large number of coach trips, and often people come down, see the graves for the Wordsworth family, see the memorial here. And quite often they don't learn more about the church. I don't think most people have any idea quite how old it is.
When you look up, you can tell it's from very long ago.
When I'm celebrating Holy Communion at the altar, I can feel that, in fact, even as I speak about it, that this place has been prayed in for 1,300 years. Goodness. You know, when you start thinking about that, this is all about people.
I guess for people of different faiths or different backgrounds,
to come in a building like this, it would bring peace to anyone.
Whatever the language, we still share a language of peace and love, which is what the Christian gospel was all about, and still is.
So I've been doing this walk and I've seen how so many people from Ruskin to Wordsworth have been inspired by this landscape and the scenery. Your church is surrounded by such a beautiful landscape. Does that influence you in any way?
Very much so. The natural world is still linked with us here in Grasmere. It speaks to us as it spoke to Wordsworth, because there's a timelessness here. Our East End has a clear window for that reason, because everybody here looks out at the fells. That's why it hasn't got stained glass intentionally. It is in the most beautiful setting, and actually everybody who walks in feels a sense of peace.
I noticed that the church is built in front of a river.
It's right by the river, because the way of coming into the Christian church is through baptism, and in the ancient times they would have just taken the people into the river and poured water over them. Whenever we do a baptism here now, we always say, well, you would have been outside, but fortunately we now have a font. It's a bit chilly these days.
And what about you more personally? Do you feel a connection with this land?
Very much so. I actually walk a lot with my Labrador dogs, and that gives me a great opportunity to be outside. But the beauty of the world around us, it just makes you want to sing or to pray.
I guess when you're really out there in between it all, that's when you start to notice the detail in every single thing that's been created, and it's mind-blowing if you think about it.
It is, and the meadows that are around here and up on the fell tops are just amazing. You've got the beautiful fells, but you've also got absolutely tiny wildflowers. Of course, the Wordsworth was particularly aware of that. The Grasmere is quite protected now in terms of development. There's a balance about how many people visit, and that's part of the World Heritage Site discussion going on. How do we enable people still to find peace and the beauty of nature whilst welcoming them to come for the next 1300 years?
In the graveyard lies the resting place of Wordsworth. He was buried here in his beloved Grasmere in 1850, having reached the age of 80. Michael McGregor is the curator of the Wordsworth Museum.
Michael? Hi.
Hi.
It's nice to see you. The book gave it away.
Yes, I thought it might have been.
So this is where Wordsworth was buried?
That's right. Wordsworth and a number of members of his family are buried here in the churchyard, yes.
What did he love so much about being here?
I think it's very important to remember that Wordsworth was born and bred in Cumbria. He comes here as a boy, actually, a schoolboy, and he writes about this in a poem called Home at Grasmere, and he recalls standing and looking down on Grasmere Lake from Loughrig and saying to himself, what happy fortune were it here to live. And he describes paradise before me, he's echoing Milton in that sense. And Wordsworth always has that on his mind, and after years of wandering in other parts of this country and abroad, he sees the opportunity to come and make a home with his sister Dorothy.
And it was on a visit to a nearby beauty spot with Dorothy that Wordsworth was inspired to write Daffodils, one of the best-known poems in the English language.
I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high o'er vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils. Beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. Continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way, they stretched in never-ending line along the margin of a bay. I gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth the show to me had brought. For oft when on my couch I lie, in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon that inward eye which is the bliss of solitude. And then my heart with pleasure fills and dances with the daffodils.
So I guess he wasn't only describing the daffodils as he saw them, but it was also about how your imagination has the power to take you back to memories and images that did make you happy.
That's exactly right. And Wordsworth has that sense of reflecting on those powerful experiences, letting them distill in your imagination, and then at a later point they'll come back to you, and they have a kind of restorative power to help you at times of crisis. As a young man, nature is his religion. As he grows older, as he experiences tragedy in his life, he moves towards that Christian view, and indeed this culminates in Wordsworth in 1821, 1822, writing a whole series of sonnets called Ecclesiastical Sketches, and these are sonnets which are written to bolster the established church. And in his later poetry you can see, particularly with the prelude, that it's God is a shaping hand that's coming into his later work.
What is it about his writing that after so many years it's still influencing people in such a major way?
I think there are a number of things. I think Wordsworth deals with fundamental human truths, really, and I think these are things which are timeless. It's that sense of the universal which people can engage with, and also the fact that actually Wordsworth has helped to shape the way in which we understand and look at the landscape and interact with the landscape today. The spiritual uplift that the landscape gives to people is very much part of what Wordsworth was articulating, 200 years ago. So we can see here the Wordsworth family graves, and if you look at Wordsworth's tombstone, it's incredibly simple.
There's no poetry on it.
All he wanted on his tombstone was his name and the date that he died.
Isn't that so surprising? You'd expect there to be like lots of poetry in a fancy grave. He was famous, he had such a status, he was so recognised, but all he wanted was this kind of simple burial.
He was ultimately, a simple Cumbrian man, and it's wonderfully fitting that Wordsworth's gravestone is so simple because, the rest of his career speaks for him in that respect.
Grasmere is a fitting place to end my journey through the beauty and wonder of Wordsworth's landscape. I can totally see why so many creative artists have fallen in love with the Lake District, and why so many people find this unique area of Britain the perfect place to get in touch with their spirituality.
What I've personally learned on this walk is that sometimes instead of rushing around and focusing so much on the past and the future, we need to really take a moment to observe what's around us and be in the present and really enjoy it.